Hi, it's nice to be back with you. I'd like to read you a story about a young boy who has a monster who lives under his bed. I think that's pretty cool. The title of the story is I Need My Monster, written by Amanda Noll, illustrated by Howard McWilliams. Of course, that means the drawings. Well, this is a story about a young boy, Ethan. One night, when Ethan checks under his bed for his monster, Gabe, he finds a note from him instead. Gone fishing, back in a week. Interesting. Let's see what happens. Well, tonight, when I looked under the bed for my monster, I found this note instead. Oh, gone fishing, back in a week, Gabe. What was I going to do? I have needed a monster under my bed. I had to take a minute to read that because I wasn't sure he needed that monster under his bed. How was I supposed to get to sleep if my monster was gone? How about that? Usually it's if you have a monster under your bed, you don't go to sleep. Not this guy. All right, let's see what happens. Well, I tried to sleep, but it wasn't the same without Gabe. I missed his ragged breath, his nose whistling, the scraping of his uncut paws. How would I ever get to sleep without Gabe? Familiar scary noises and his spooky green ooze. I don't know. I think I'd be scared, but he needs him. It was no use. Gabe would be gone for a week, and I just had to have a monster. I wonder what he's gonna do, huh? I climbed quickly out of bed so my parents wouldn't hear me. Grown-ups have some strange ideas about monsters under beds. How about that? I knocked on the floorboards, then scrambled back under my covers. I waited nervously. Would a new monster appear? What would he be like? Would his snorting be as cheerful as Gabe's? I didn't realize Gabe was cheerful. When I heard some creaking under my bed, I know that the substitute monster had arrived. Good evening, said a low, breathy voice. My name is Herbert, and I will be your monster for the evening. Herbert? What kind of name is that for a monster? You don't sound scary at all. Have you ever scared a kid before? Well, no, but I have read all the best books on the topic. Do you have long teeth and scratchy claws? I asked. No, but I have an overbite, and I'm a mouth breather. Listen. Hush, 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 hush. Herbert's panting was kind of scary, but it wasn't enough for me. He didn't scare him much. Let's see what happens. Well, listen, Herbert. I'm sorry. I just don't think this is going to work. It's nothing personal, but I really need a monster with claws. Picky, 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 Herbert complained. As you wish, I'll go. There was some more creaking, then Herbert was gone. How about that if you could just tell the monster to go? Well, some scratching warned me that a second monster had appeared. Good evening, he said in a high, silky voice. My name is Ralph. I understand you need a monster with claws. If you would please lean over, I will hold out an arm for inspection. Oh, there he is under the bed. I crouched on the edge of the bed, hoping to see a horrible, shaggy arm with sharp, ragged nails. I wonder what he's going to see instead. Instead, I was surprised to see sleekly brushed fur with smooth, shiny claws. Excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but is that nail polish on your claws? Yes, it is, Ralph said. I believe professional monsters should always be well groomed. I could tell that this was not going to work out either. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Ralph, but I need a monster with scary claws like Gabe's, I thought. Oh, he really misses Gabe. I heard some more scratching, and I knew Ralph was gone. A minute later, a third voice from under the bed rasped, "Check out these claws, kid." I gathered my courage and peered over the bed. The claws were impressive, jagged and dark and razor sharp. So far, so good. I was a little nervous. "Could you stick out your tail?" I whispered. "Sure, but don't get scared." Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. I peeked through my fingers at the slimy tail slithering over the foot of my bed. That's when I noticed the bow. A bow. "Are you a girl monster?" "Of course I am," she said. "I'm Cynthia. Do you have a problem with that?" Yeah, I do," I admitted. "I definitely need a boy monster. Boy monsters are for boys and girl monsters are for girls. Everybody knows that." "Well, aren't you a picky one?" she sniffed, and then she was gone. Wonder who's gonna come next. Oh my goodness gracious. Was I being too picky? No. I know that my monster needed to be well clawed and menacing. Yeah. The whole point of having a monster, after all, was to keep me in bed, imagining all the scary stuff that could happen if I got out. That's interesting. I never heard a child say that before. Well, then I heard a shuffling noise and some slobbering. A fourth monster was under my bed. "Hey, the name's Mac." One look at his claws proved that Mac was a big, scary boy monster. I shivered. Maybe this one would work out. There was some excellent those are some excellent, oh, excuse me, reread. Those are some excellent claws, but you have a long tail? I leaned over to see. "No, my tail is stumpy," Max slurped, "but I do have an unusually long tongue." "Why would I be afraid of a long tongue?" I asked. "Oh, I don't know," he said, trying to sound terrified. "You never know when I might lick you." I fell back on the bed laughing. Oh my gosh, I thought that was so funny. I wonder how the monster felt. Let's see who shows up now. "Well, if you're not even gonna try to work with me," Mark whined. I hold in my giggles. "I really don't think you should send me away," he warned. "Kids who reject 5 monsters in one night?" "I did not reject 5 monsters tonight," I interrupted. My regular monster went fishing." "Fishing? Ha! Maybe he just left because you're so picky. Fine, I'm out of here. But I wouldn't expect another monster night if I were you." How was I ever going to get to sleep without my monster? He was in his bed now, sad. I wonder what's going to happen. Well, I was surprised to hear more creaking under the bed. Loud creaking with scratching. I thought no more monsters were going to appear tonight," I said. "Sorry, kid, I'm late." It was Gabe. "I thought I would enjoy fishing, but I didn't," he explained. "Those fish scare too easily. No challenge at all." "Yeah, you, however, are challenging, my friend. You're almost too old to be afraid of monsters. You keep me on my toes." Toes. A delicious snack. The bed quivered as Gabe's stomach rumbled with hunger. "Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to start the evening with a ominous puddle of drool. I poked over the edge of the bed. Green ooze spread soundlessly from underneath. Ew, can you imagine getting out of bed and you had all kinds of gook around it? What happened? Then the bed tumbled as Gabe unfurled his spiked tail. It was daring me to guess where he might pop up. I shivered. I don't think I would want a monster under the bed, but Ethan loves it. Well, so you did some substitute monsters tonight, Gabe said, sharpening his claws on my bedpost. Were you scared? Then Gabe started tapping. I could tell he wanted to know if I still needed him. Ah, no other monster can scare me like you, I giggled, diving under my covers and pulling them up tight. Through the blanket, I heard Gabe's soft, comforting snores. Hey, I knew it. We're made for each other. He was so glad because he wasn't afraid of Gabe. He enjoyed Gabe. He just thought Gabe was his buddy monster, didn't he? That's what I think. Let's see. When my blanket started to slip off the bed, I knew Gabe was ready to eat. Now, if you could please stick out your foot, he said, I'd like a nibble. I'd like to nibble your pinky. I yanked my blanket up and scrunched my feet in so Gabe couldn't get them. No toes tonight, but you can have this, I offered, pushing a pillow off the bed. I didn't even hear it hit the floor. Gabe was back. The ooze was perfect. Everything was back to normal. I shivered again. I'd be asleep in no time. It sounds to me like this is a story he makes up in his head every night, isn't it? Really is not afraid of monsters, is he? Because his monster's really very nice. So he made monsters nice. It's an interesting story. Maybe when we come back to school, we can discuss it. Have a good day. Bye.